You can hear me, right?
Yeah.
As long as we have the pictures from the newsletter, we can send those to Chris.
Got all those pictures, right?
Bring them up. What?
Chris has all the pictures, right?
I don't know. I think Bob made that content.
We can chat later.
Okay.
Over the weekend, Chris.
Me? Nothing exciting.
Yeah. Did you get some downtime now?
Not what I'd want. But yeah, I mean, yes and no. I didn't get home from Big Bear till 2 a.m. on Saturday morning.
Oh my gosh.
It was another late one.
I heard the truck was really bad.
Yeah, it wipes you out. Like my Saturday's just toast.
Yeah. I feel you there. You just need like proper function.
No.
That's always what happens to me.
No, so it was just kind of a lazy weekend otherwise, I guess. That was interesting. Was that you?
Yeah, I was checking a video on YouTube. It's very interesting that people seem to get through the unlisted. I wonder how they do that. Interesting. It was 107 here yesterday, and it's going to be 107 again today.
Well,
Good morning. Oh, where's Kyle? Let's see.
Hold on. This is getting all messed up on me this morning. I got to make my box disappear.
Too funny. Good morning, everybody. Thanks for joining us. I'm not sure where Kyle went. He was here. There he is.
Ta-da!
Kyle, we're live. Good morning. How are you?
I was struggling. I needed to grab a cough drop real quick. So
yeah. Cool.
I'm doing great.
Well, man, what a Monday morning, right? How's everything going? You're back at work now after the last Bead Maker and Coffee. You were on vacation.
It's been a lot of work to get back to work.
Yep. I hear you. Well, I'm on week 3 of over 100-degree temps. So yeah, to say it's been exhausting would be putting it lightly.
It's going to be hot today. I'm actually ready to turn the air on in the house already. It's very humid.
Yeah. Yeah.
or Southern
We
California.
keep our air on all the time. I actually just bumped it down here. It does seem really hot. Yeah, it's going to be 107 here today. So crazy. So we have an exciting show today. We're super excited. We have a release for you guys here in a little bit, but let's chat about, let's see, how about details? How are your details going? Any products stand out that you want to tell us about?
I really had a good time doing a ceramic coating this last week on a 35-foot Class A motorhome.
Mm-hmm.
And we did Soul. The owner has kept it indoors for the last 5 or 6 years, and he wanted good protection on it because it's going to be stored outdoors for about a year.
Mm-hmm.
But he didn't really want to break the bank and go with Legend. So we did Soul, and we put Inspiration Classic on just the front cap and the top edges as kind of a small upgrade to really help protect those areas that get the most wind, abrasion, and sun.
Nice.
So it was amazing. My guys coated the entire RV without me. I showed them what I wanted done, and they did a great job. I got to do all the other stuff that needed to be done. The mirrors, the wheels, fixing some scratches and stuff.
Very cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
Well, I had a lot of details over the last couple of weeks that I have products that stand out, but I think probably the one that I was most impressed with, which is, it's kind of one that I say all the time. It's kind of like my EnviroClean. You know how you love EnviroClean. I had a car last week. It was a little Civic that was kind of that concrete blue. So it was, it had clear coat, but it was a flat color, right? Which those are always a challenge. So no, no anything in it, no pearl. And it was, I want to say probably the owner was early 20s. It was obvious that it was newer, it was maybe only a couple years old, and he hadn't really taken care of it. And I think just had hit that point in his life where he was excited to get it cleaned up and take care of it. So, it's kind of cool to see that. So I did kind of go the extra mile for him. I don't normally do this, but when I washed the car, which I had noticed when he brought it in, it looked like it had been through literally. It looked like it had been through a dirty rainstorm. So, the big water spots with, all the brown around them. So I was hopeful that some of that would just wash off, and no, those were solid mineral water spots. It was probably the worst I'd ever seen. It was shocking. And I was like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? So, normally, and it was kind of a funny situation. Somebody was paying for the detail for him for his birthday. So I didn't want to call and go through the whole, it's going to cost this much for water spot removal. So I wanted to just do it for him. It did end up being a lot more than I anticipated. So I used the water spot remover, which that did take, the water spot off, but then there was all the major etching in the paint left. So the water spot remover got the water spots off, but then just major etching in the paint. So I thought, what am I going to do? I've already done water spot removal for this guy, but now, it still doesn't look a whole lot better. And so I thought, you know what, I'm going to devote 30 minutes and I'm going to buzz over this entire car with UCP 1987. And so I did that, and I literally did the whole car, didn't wipe it off. I did the whole car. And part of the reason I didn't wipe it off was because I didn't really know, I didn't want to keep giving more kind of, where I was like, I don't want to know the results. This is what I'm doing. So I did the entire car before wiping it off, and then did the wipe off with Bead Maker. And holy cow, it just UCP and a wool pad probably took off 75% of the etching. I mean, like a lot, to where you really had to look to see them. It really did a great job, brightened up the paint, made it super shiny, and it looked absolutely amazing. So, I know that we really love, UCP 1987, which is Ultra Coat Polish. It's just such a great product. And I feel like, Keith always says Ultra Coat Polish is always the answer. And I have to agree. Like, I feel like every time I'm kind of in a jam and, you know, don't really want to give away too much services, but I need to kind of clean something up, that is the product that kind of just, it makes me shine. You know, it makes me look like some type of wizard. And, but it doesn't take a lot of effort on my part, which I love. I love being able to do that for my customers. So, I know I've talked about that product a lot, but this week it really got me out of a jam on that Civic. And, you know, it kept my arms from doing too much, but it gave huge results at the end. So awesome. Love it.
That's always a bummer when someone pays for a gift and they have no idea what their family member or their friend's car is like.
Yeah.
I've had that situation so many times.
Yeah.
And
you feel bad.
It's always awkward when it's super bad and you're like, I got to charge you more than what your buddy gave you the gift card for.
Yeah.
I've had to do it a couple times, and sometimes I've had to do what you've done and just eat it and just be the hero. But what I always do is I make sure they know that I did it, and it was an add-on service, but I went ahead and just upgraded them. Yeah. Because at least you can, you know, get that review out of them, or that you know, they'll share your business card with another friend, and hopefully that, you know, continues the business relationship to grow. Because you're like, hey, I know it was your birthday, we found some other stuff that wasn't included, we went in and took care of that for you, no charge, courtesy of your friend, and make their friend look really good. But
right.
It's a bummer.
Yeah, it was a bummer. But, you know, given that he told me when he got here that, you know, he was kind of ready to, you know, learn how to take care of his car and start taking care of it, I felt better about it. You know, I wanted him to start off good, because, you know, if he would have ever tried to wash that thing, he would have quit after the first time, just because it's kind of defeating when you go to dry the car and there's still a million water spots, right?
Yeah.
So,
well, the other thing is, you're like, okay, let's get you on the schedule.
Right.
We'll see you in 6 months. We'll see you in 3 months.
Exactly. And you know that I do that all the time. So real quick, I want to give a special shout out because Gabriel is here from the Netherlands. And so he sent me a message yesterday, and I know he's in the chat, but I wanted to get from us and Gabriel a shout out to Rennie's brother, Randy. So Gabriel contacted me yesterday and said, you know, he just wanted us to give a shout out to Rennie and make sure that, you know, that the Doyle family knows that they are in our thoughts. And I hope everybody is doing well. And, you know, I'm sure a lot of you have seen Rennie's updates on Facebook. His brother went through kind of a major heart surgery, and he is doing well. So Gabriel was just thinking about Rennie and wanted to make sure that we sent the shout out to him in case he wasn't here this morning, but he is. So perfect. Awesome. That's very kind of you, Gabriel. I'm sure Rennie very much appreciates that.
Is Gabriel the one that used to bring the Stroop waffles?
Nope, that's Hans, and he's here too. I see him.
No, no, that's from that went training through with Rennie.
Oh,
he's the one that sent them to Big Bear for our event.
No, that was
no, that was
Randy.
Yeah.
Randy.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, Hans and Gabriel have never been over to the U.S., but Rennie and Bob saw them.
Randy is the one. He's in the military.
Yes.
And,
that's right.
Okay. That's what I'm trying to think of Randy.
Yeah. Yep. Josh, we do see you sitting there waiting for the new product drop. We're going to make you wait just a few more minutes. So next up, let's talk about real quick what's happening in 2 weeks. So exciting. 2 weeks from today, we are heading to Hayward, California, then to head to Monterey.
Holy cow, 2 weeks.
Yeah. 2 weeks from today. Yeah. So we will be heading to Monterey, California. We have a team of guys heading over there and ladies, and we will be doing 2 events. Formerly, the McCall's Motorworks is now called the Motor Lux. So we will be doing that event, and we've got some other kind of smaller events within that. And then we go to the Quail. So we are super excited about that. That's our kind of our last big summer event. So that's going to be really fun. We're looking forward to that. So special announcement, 2 weeks from today, which will also be Bead Maker and Coffee. Kyle and I will be coming from, bless you. live from Hayward. So we are heading up there early so that we can still bring you guys Bead Maker and Coffee, but right from the training center. So we're excited about that. That'll be fun.
Yeah, I'm excited for to see how the Motorlux event is going to be. It's going to look different. I think there's a different vibe coming with a live auction that's taking place during the event, which is going to be totally cool.
Yeah, very cool.
And there's lots of cars for us to clean up.
Yeah. Yep. It's going to be really fun. So there's a huge auction. So I do encourage everybody to go follow on Facebook. I know they don't have a lot of followers, so I'd like to support them because of the name change. So it's the Motorlux event on Facebook, and they've been posting some really fantastic pictures and kind of, trying to keep people up to date. So I'm sure they're going to do a great job with their media coverage of the event. So I highly encourage you guys to follow the Motorlux on Facebook. I think I just saw Chris put up maybe their
You put the website up.
So Motorlux, and then within that Motorlux, you'll see the link to the Broken Arrow group, which has the auction. And I have heard that the cars in that auction are absolutely unbelievable. And then the Quail event, which, also Gordon still kind of curates and stuff, which is really cool. That's on the lawn. So follow those events. We'll obviously keep everybody up to date on our own social media, but definitely follow the Motorlux. I've been following them. They've got really, really cool stuff coming up, and they're doing a great job kind of letting people know what's going on. So it's kind of fun to see the schedule of events and what they have planned and stuff. So very, very cool. All right. Anything else to talk about this morning? Good morning, Angela. You're awake.
Nope, just a bunch of people saying hello.
Yes, good morning, everybody.
Alex
Here, Angela.
Mike.
Yeah, so Mike's Auto Detailing. He said he can't wait to meet you in person, Kyle. He's great. He's great. So he's up there in the Bay Area.
We've talked a few times. Yeah, this is gonna be good.
Yeah, super awesome. Yeah, we're really excited. Really excited.
What'd you do this weekend, Sid?
Oh, yeah.
Talk about
so I just got back from Portland yesterday. So Keith Duplessis with PNS had we kind of had like a Mafia Sasquatch chapter barbecue at Keith's house. So that was really fun. I want to say we probably had about 25 people. I did sit with my feet in the pool. I did not get all the way in because that's just me. But yeah, swam. It was 100 degrees with like 49% humidity. It was so hot. But so I sat there and sweated. But I mean, just, always good people, great conversation. It's always so awesome to get together. That was really kind of Keith and Lisa to host that barbecue for, just all of us up in the Northwest. I'm kind of an honorary Northwest member, so that's fun. So Mike and I flew over, and yeah, it was really nice, just to get away and not have to think about a whole lot for a second.
Go.
Oh, me. Oh no, am I on stage? Okay, so
you're good. He's here, but he shut off his camera somehow.
Oh, funny. I thought I was supposed to do something.
I had to close the window really quick. I asked my wife to turn the air on. I was like, "It's getting hot in here. Let's."
Yeah. So we had a great weekend. It was really fun. So just got back yesterday and had to start prepping cars right away. Somehow I scheduled myself 2 coatings for today, which for some of you may know, I try to take these Mondays that we do Bead Maker and Coffee off. And this is the direct opposite of having the day off. I have 2 full coatings with Legend today. So, whoopsie. What would you do?
Yep. You just got to get them done.
Yeah. What did you do this weekend? Did you just hang out?
I just hung out. I took care of my fleet that I do every other week on Saturday. We spent our neighbors. We went down to my parents' house with our neighbors, and my kids swam with our neighbor friends, their kids, and went to church yesterday and just relaxed. We had a very chill weekend. I was supposed to ceramic coat an RV today, but the guy is a total flake. And so today I'm going to get a bunch of other things done that I've been needing time to do. So,
Awesome.
Yep.
Awesome. Cool. Well, so is it time yet? I feel like a kid on
We
Christmas
have enough
morning.
people on? I don't know how many people. I hope we have enough people on.
Yeah, you're
All right, so
you're
let's
good.
talk.
We're all waiting. I think
about,
Josh is ready to jump out of his seat. So I'll kind of start explaining it, and then I'll let Kyle take over. So about 2 years ago, Kyle and I started working on a project. And, you know, we always talk about us being the kids and always, you know, poking at Bob and Dave to make stuff for us. And so we saw a need within the industry. And so we got really excited about it. And so we kind of started putting our minds together on what exactly we wanted this to look like. And so, you know, we had help, obviously, from the masters in the industry. And so we came up with something super fun. So now I'll let you take over, Kyle.
Yeah, so like we saw a need for this, and
Mm-hmm.
other people were already doing it, but they weren't doing it the way we would have done it, and the
Mm-hmm.
size that we
Yeah.
would have done it.
Mm-hmm.
And let's talk about when Sydney came on to PNS. One of her, I guess, charges that was given to her was to pair types of tools or accessories
Mm-hmm.
to our existing products that make them work well together, and give the value to our customers.
Mm-hmm.
I have no sound.
I can
Can you hear me?
Oh, I can hear you. Can everybody else? Is it only Michael that can't hear it? Can anybody else hear us?
I've got no problems here.
Yeah, I guess Michael's your volume's off because I'm good. I can hear you guys.
I'm gonna go confirm another way, but I think we're okay.
Joe can hear us.
Right,
Okay.
says,
I think it's just Michael.
All right.
I think it's just Michael. So okay, go ahead.
So we paired this item and took a lot of R&D, a lot of prototypes, and this item is called the Express Sidekick. That doesn't give it away, which is awesome. But what is the Express Sidekick, Sydney?
So it is an interior scrub mitt. Show it yet?
Yeah. Bring it up.
All right. So it is an Express Sidekick. It is an interior scrub mitt, and it is absolutely amazing. So here it is right here. So it is a mitt that actually has a little pocket on the back for your hand. And on the front, wow, that's going to be hard to see. So it's these, you know, this great new kind of scrub surface that's out that, you know, I call it like little fingers that dig in and clean things. And so it's a dense material that just has probably millions of little fingers that get in there and do all this for you. So we chose the black material because it seems to, it definitely does not have color bleed, and then it just seems to stay kind of cleaner, and it's a little bit more rigid than the white, I think, but it's also very gentle on all the surfaces. So it's very dense, but it flexes and just scrubs. I've never had it scratch anything. It seems to, you know, really get all that dirt and grime out of all of the, you know, a lot of the plastics and vinyls, and even leather is, you know, has like peaks and valleys, right? So these little pieces of, is it microfiber? I'm not even sure what the material is, but it's, you know, scrubbing material, kind of gets down in there, gets all the dirt pulled out, and it literally, you know, obviously when I go through these and I'm trying to figure out tools, I keep track of how much time it saves me, right? Or how much time it costs me sometimes. And so when I started using this, it literally cut my interiors almost in half. I mean, the scrubbing time, not the whole job, right? But just the cleaning portion. It was literally cutting my time in half, and it was providing a better result. So I was super excited about that. And so then that's when Kyle and I got a hold of it and thought, how do we make this and work for everybody? So what's fun about this?
Go ahead.
What's fun about this, though, is obviously Kyle and I have completely different sizes, right? And so that was, for me, one of the things that I noticed, you know, being a female, was that there was certain things, whether they be wash mitts or towels or whatnot, everything, there were certain things that it was so big, you know, and it was hard for me to hold. My hands are not super big. And so we wanted this, when we were coming up with this, it had to fit my hand comfortably. And then Kyle has ginormous hands, so it had to fit his hands also. So that was kind of funny. And to tell you that we literally went back and forth and like changed it by this much, that really happened. So we wanted it to be perfect for everybody. So and then obviously the PNS is imprinted on there, and it's really cool. You can't feel it. It's imprinted into the fabric. So on the back, that is so hard to line that up. So on the back, you guys can see it's kind of a pearl weave material. So it's going to be really nice and soft and, you know, not scratch anything. And then we've got a nice edge on the side that is like an overlock material that really keeps these together. So they don't split apart. They don't fall apart in the wash. We have had prototypes for now, what, probably 8 months, 9 months. And I use mine every single day. I've washed it 30 times, 40 times, and they come out looking just like this, which is awesome.
Yeah, we've been testing the black scrub material for over a year now. We've had that for a long time. It was the design that we were really focusing on, not only the size, but we didn't want sharp edges. We wanted the edges to be rounded enough, but also that they could get into all the tight spots on leather and the stitching. And you know, we've tried different edges. You know, some of the edges came up and over, some of the edges weren't tight, close enough. We determined we couldn't use our typical red. We wanted red microfiber, but we were concerned about bleeding. But all those colors there, we've tested with multiple chemicals, soaked them for days. And
we actually tried to bleach that off, and it didn't work.
But Alex Dewar has a great comment. You can use the little pocket to set it on something and allow it to hang dry. I didn't even think about using it that way. Mine usually I don't usually dry mine out because we're usually just using them all the time. But when you need to clean them and do that, I could throw them in the wash. They work fine in the wash. One thing we really loved about this material on the black scrub side, and Chris, if you have those pictures that we sent, you can bring some up, was it doesn't lay down. It tends to keep its rigidity, its stiffness, and it doesn't just comb over. So that's one thing that really we really loved about this material when we were working with the company to make it for us. So
and some of the areas that, you know, the other ones that we had tried out, you know, some of the problem areas that we found was between the seats and the center console. You know, we needed something that could, you know, you could completely get your hand down in that space. But then that's why we wanted the pocket. We wanted the back of our hands, you know, protected, that would, you know, maybe do a wipe while it went down through there. But, you know, a lot of them, you would still have like your gloved hand or whatever on the one side. So that's why we really wanted the pocket, so that we could reach down in those areas and really get those clean. And then one of the other areas that we really worried about was where the seats meet. So where the back and the bottom meet, this way you can kind of shove that down in there and really get that edge, you know, really nice and clean. So, you know, and then this does also produce a great lather. So we don't have the video drops right after Bead Maker and Coffee on YouTube. So we do have a video out. And so it does create a really nice lather. And then one other fun fact is we obviously call this the Express Sidekick, but you can use it with any interior cleaner, right? It doesn't have to be used with Express. And so, you know, I know that you guys have heard our joke about, is it an Express day or is it an EnviroClean day? So this thing is also like an absolute beast with EnviroClean. So if you have those, you know, super dirty cars, you know, minivans come to mind with the gray seats, this thing just like tears right through all that dirt and grime, which is really awesome. So definitely this has saved me so much time. I absolutely love this. I'm super, you know, super happy with it, super proud of just, I know how much energy and how many times we changed it to be just perfect for you guys. So I know you're going to love it. Really, really, really excited about this new.
So Mark Abar asked a really great question. They do come in a 2-pack in the plastic wrapping.
Yeah, so it'll come in a little plastic bag like this, and there will be 2. So yeah, super cool. Tells you how to care for it on there. So 2 packs. So, most distributors should have these by now. I haven't checked, but some of our online retailers should have them. They'll obviously be live on our website today. So like with any new product, we let our distributors know ahead of time so that they can get those in. So hopefully you'll start seeing those out there. But definitely pick up a pack of them. We are so excited about them. I do recommend, so me using them in my shop, just to kind of give you guys some, feedback on this. I probably I would say have like a minimum of 4, because, I go through them every day, and I don't in my shop, I don't do laundry every single day. So you can, if they don't get super gross, you can definitely rinse them out in the sink and then hang them to dry. I like to use a new one every day, clean, fresh, because when I do grab them out, that means that there's probably something going on in the car. So, grab a couple. Definitely the pack of 2 is great to begin with. But then the other thing these are great for is I use them a lot on carpet for stains. So, spray some carpet bomber. And if you just are like kind of doing spot cleaning or something, you can literally just scrub the carpet with it, especially where the feet go in, and that edge before it rolls down always gets super dirty. Works really great on those little edges. So you can definitely clean other surfaces with it too. Do you want to talk about the surfaces, all the different things they can use it on?
Well, I just did a little drone video the other day and sent it to Sydney. We were cleaning a boat, and it works great on boat vinyl.
Yeah.
Especially at the top of the boat, the seats where the little piping meets the vinyl. You can shove that corner down in there and clean it really well. And also, if it hits the fiberglass, I wasn't really concerned about scratching it up. We just put a lot of, we were using EnviroClean on that one because the leather or the vinyl was really dirty. For most of the areas, it was EnviroClean day. So it'll work great for that. I've used it on like a visor before. I've used a little bit of carpet bomber on a visor and scrubbed that because the headliner and visor is a very low pile. So this will work really great there. And then I just followed behind with a microfiber towel and I was done. I mean, it works great for that. Steering wheels, shifter knobs, you can just with your hand, just scrub all around the
it's so knobs. Great. It just, you go right around it. It is super flexible. So you can get in all those tight areas.
We decided not to go with a full mitt. We didn't want to have a massive mitt. Yeah. That's why your thumb's out that's why it's at that distance because we wanted something small.
And Gabriel actually just brought that up. that I have always previously said I'm afraid to put my hand in a mitt. That is absolutely true. But it is exactly what Kyle's talking about, like the full mitt. Like I don't want my whole hand where I can't see it, and I don't know what's inside that mitt. So like I'm thinking like mitts. I'm not sticking my hand inside something that I don't know what's in there. But I mean, this is pretty. So
for me,
you can still see quite a bit of your hand.
The other day when I got our final edition, after all the prototypes, I wanted to play with it, so I did exactly what we were talking about. I put my hand in the mitt and did between the seats on a vehicle. I flipped it around backwards and I did the center console, and then I take my hand out of the mitt and I did all the leather without my hand in it. Yeah. And it works out great both ways, but I love that I have the option, to control it better. And so you may not put your hand in it all the time, but at least you have it for those times where you don't want to like drop it somewhere.
Yeah. And that's a good point. And that's why we left the thumb out because, just as humans, our thumbs, give us a lot of stability. And so that is exactly why we left the thumb out because it gives you, the ability to move it and things like that. Whereas in a normal mitt, you're kind of just stuck and it's, that's why I don't really like wash mitts. I feel like I can't control them very well. So yes, absolutely. That's why we left the thumb out so that you have, control. And then somebody just asked, Hans asked, does it slide off your hands when using it? No, I've never had it slide off my hands. So, and either way, that is, just what Kyle said. You can use it just as a, it's so thin, the little pocket, part on top is literally the width of a pearl towel. So it's very thin. So you can use it like this and scrub, or with your hand in the mitt. And I've never had it slide off my hand. I've never, no issues there. So it's super nice.
Well,
and
it's like just
I wouldn't say it's stretchy, but it doesn't stretch out either, you know?
Yeah, I don't think it's going to stretch out too much over time, because I mean, I've been using one of the prototypes for a long time and I haven't stretched it out yet.
Yeah. Yep.
But this is kind of cool. I'm excited because this took
Yeah.
a long time to come
Yes.
out
Yep.
to make this. And we're really excited to have everyone have the ability to get their detailing done faster, more efficient. And
Yep.
part of this was we have a lot of distributors, and a lot of our distributors don't have this item even from other companies.
Mhm.
So part of doing this as our own was to give that option to those distributors that follow us or buy from us.
Mhm.
Our goal is to bring good stuff to detailers. Sydney and I are detailers. We want the best things for detailers, and we were seeing a void at some of our distributors' shops. They weren't getting this particular type of scrubber, because we've seen some of the other ones out there over time, the micro scrubbers.
Yeah.
And no one was picking them up. So now hopefully this will find its way into all those shops and help the industry, especially those that love PNS.
Yep.
So
so we are super excited about it. So it is out today. So we are excited that we got to bring it to you guys live. That was fun.
Yeah. So now what?
We can start answering questions. Everybody is still just saying good morning and stuff. That's so nice. So here's one about the Sidekick that we can talk about. Mike's Auto Detailing just said other competitors' products similar last around 3 to 4 uses. Is this the same? So no. I mean, I've used mine. I would venture to say over 100 times. I have some that I've used over 100 times and like really beat up on them. And when I say that we tried to destroy them, I'm not kidding. We tried to destroy them. So the one thing about this one, the biggest failure point in some of the other ones that we found was they would fall apart in the wash. So they would split apart from whatever was on the back, whatever material there was. So that's why we really wanted this. And I don't even know what I would call this, but it's major overlock stitch. And so it's still a soft material. This is still going to help you scrub, but this absolutely never come apart. It's never coming apart. So that was a big one. Then the pearl weave towel, these are virtually indestructible. And so, we found that this wasn't going to come apart. And then this is definitely not going to come apart. So I have yet to have one even show any wear, really. They clean up perfectly. I obviously wash them in rags to riches. That's another thing you could do if you don't do laundry often, is just soak it in a bucket of rags to riches and rinse it out, and you're going to be good. So I have not had one fall apart. And like I say, I've probably used them over 100 times. So
when we designed this, that was part of the conversation, Mike. How long do we want this to last?
Yes.
Because we're a business, right? Some things we want, just like cars aren't designed to last forever. But same with other tools on the market. There are some that literally fall apart after about 10. We didn't want that to happen. We've had that happen from a few that we tried. But we definitely wanted to get an average of that 50 vehicle if you're doing every aspect of the vehicles or more. I think eventually, right, anything catches up. And depending on what you're doing with it, but I do everything from big rigs. I've scrubbed the rubber floors and big rigs with it, vinyl seats, plastics, and some of my earlier prototypes. I was, I don't talk about this a lot with everyone, but I was cleaning a lot of airplanes last year. And a lot of them had grease and grime underneath the plane. And I was using this with EnviroClean and degreasers. We put our gloves on and put our hands in and scrub. And we got 20 planes out of a couple of them before The problem I saw in the failure was actually we were wearing the material away. So the material, the scrub heads were getting thinner and thinner and thinner on the areas where you could see where we were pushing. But that means we're literally scrubbing grease off of paint.
Right.
And using heavy degreasers. So that's when I knew that this material was going to be a rock star for us. General use with EnviroClean or Express, and on plastics, leather, and vinyl, you're going to see 50 plus. And I'll be honest, I'm not like Sydney. I don't clean mine as often as she does. I being mobile, I dunk mine in the water. I wring it out a couple times. I squeeze it and I throw it in the drawer and I move on. So she probably takes better care of hers than I do, for sure. But I have employees that I find these things on the ground. I gotta clean them off, but so, it's not ideal situation in my van with my guys.
And so
great usage.
So we obviously did intend for it to be an interior scrub mitt, but you can also use it for some exterior jobs that I have found super helpful. So of course, because I'm a little bit weird about my stuff, I do have one that's marked for exterior only. So I will use it sometimes on WeatherTech mats. It works really great. I spray Tempest and scrub with my hand. If I don't need to get out my drill brush, I'll use these. Also on plastic trim, like if you think about like RAV4s or something with that really wide piece, or Explorers, it works really great if it's got old waxes or something like that. I'll use it to scrub that plastic, just because this material just scrubs down in there, but it's gentle too, but it does so much work. So I'll use it to scrub those. I have used it on certain wheels that are maybe are like powder coated that you can't scratch with it. I don't think it would scratch, but I've used it on wheels before. I've used it on glass to get sap off. So I have kind of put it to the test on the exterior. You obviously will break down the materials faster on exterior stuff. That's kind of why I have one dedicated to exterior. But it's a really versatile tool that doesn't just.
I think it's going to work well for vinyl tops as well.
Yes, convertible tops. I've used it to get bird poop out of. Yeah.
Like you said, plastics, like the bed edges. I did a truck a long time ago where I was getting ready for solution finish, and but the plastics looked kind of chalky white. So during the wash process, while my guys were washing, I hit the plastics with EnviroClean and I scrubbed them really well, especially in those, they have the ridges. And I did that. You could probably use it on the tailgate, the plastic when it's flipped down, side steps, and even mud flaps. So it's going to work well for those areas. Obviously, most of the areas except for paint, right? We don't want to use it on paint. I did it on airplanes, but they didn't care about scratching them up. You should have seen how bad the bottoms of the planes were already. They've probably used steel wool on the bottom of these planes in the past. So getting all the grease off was priority. And it was better than just using a microfiber. There was no friction. So destroying these was well worth it.
So Han says, how is it compared to the Vlb brush? So this material, I wish that you could see it, but it's kind of similar to the Vlb. And I think that was kind of the inspiration. The Vlb brush came in and kind of took the industry by storm, and it's still a really great tool. But so the pieces of that material probably double the length of the Vlb brush. So what that does is it just gets deeper into the leather, deeper into the plastic. So, the Vlb brush is great, but if you have a really, geographical leather, the Vlb brush never really got way down deep. So this just a lot deeper. It's also going to last a lot longer, and it's maneuverable. The Vlb brush was firm. So, it's still a great tool, but this one I just feel like is so much more versatile, and I can get done in half the time using this. It's larger area to cover, so you're going to get more done in a shorter period of time, and you're not going to leave those areas that you can't get to. So with a VLB brush, you couldn't get between the seat and the center console. You know, you could only get to the top of the seat. You couldn't get down into the seat cracks. You know, a lot of the newer cars, like I'm thinking of Audis with big, you know, seat cracks and, you know, really high bolsters, you need to be able to get down on each side of that bolster. And I just found that with the VLB brush, if you could, you were only using that little tip part. And so, you know, it's just a lot more maneuverable, a lot more flexible, but very similar in, you know, this composition to the VLB brush. It's just a lot longer. So you're going to get deeper and a better result.
Yeah, so I just sent Chris a picture that if he gets, he can pull up of a zoomed in area of what the scrub material looks like, because I know it's going to be hard to show on the camera.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know, it's definitely a longer material than the VLB brush, you know, the little one that looks like a little iron. That's kind of the brush that started this craze in the industry, right? And then it grew and other people started doing their own versions, and some of them were using microfiber, some of them were using nylon. I believe ours is probably more like a nylon material or a really stiff microfiber. And but yeah, this micro scrubbing material, it's a game changer for us. I mean, I remember using, you know, boar's hair and scrubbing the heck out of leather, and it just wouldn't come clean because it wasn't stiff enough to really get in the pores. But this material changes that for us.
Yeah. Yep.
It's a big innovation.
We love it. Love it. Love it. All right. Should we answer some other questions, or do we have any more about the brush or the scrub knit? I did see one from Stephen. Chris, if you want to pull that one up, because
Stephen Chen had a question.
Yeah, this actually might be part of my answer too. So Stephen says, good morning, guys. Any suggestions on paint overspray on exterior plastic and or rubber trim? Talk to Prentice, but always good to get other suggestions.
I've had a lot of experience with this over the years.
Me too, yeah.
Painting houses. Obviously, it's easy to get off of glass. Glass is the easiest to get overspray off of. Paint is a little easier, but still has its challenges depending on what paint transfers on there. Something like this scrubber could help. Using pressure from a pressure washer can help, like on the bed edges, or mud flaps, or on tires. But really, there's no chemical you can safely use on rubber or plastic that's gonna not damage the rubber or plastic in some way, either drying it out or discoloring it. I mean, you can't use a solvent. There are some out there that probably could test, but man, you can do some damage. I've used clay, synthetic clay before, with some degreasers and I know I destroyed the clay as well, but at least it got that off the mirrors. But there was a time when I did a vehicle that, you know, the people didn't notice the damage, and it was a nice, like brand new Chevy, you know, top of the line Chevy truck. And I got all of the glass off the paint. I even got it off some of the plastics, but the cowling, the mirrors, the side steps, and the bed edges all had to be replaced. It would not come off. I don't know what kind of, it was like cement on there. It was $5,000 of insurance that paid out to replace all of the textured plastic. Rubber, you can get it off if you want to rub on it. Rubber, as long as you rejuvenate the rubber later, because you can use a little bit of abrasion, but you're going to scratch the rubber up. What did you had said?
Kind of the same. I mean, if it's a lot and if it's road paint, I just tell them they need to go to a body shop. I just don't even, you know, worry about it. If it's house paint, which I just had, this is going to be a two-part answer. I just had a F350 that was covered in house paint, you know, just overspray contractor. So I have had luck if it's pretty fresh and it's not, huge concentrations of it. I huck with actually Tree Sap remover. That tends to be on the safer side of removers. But what I use the Tree Sap remover for is just to kind of soften it a little bit. So the Tree Sap remover itself doesn't really remove it, but it softens it a little bit. And then I've actually used this to scrub, and it, that I've gotten it off of plastics using that. But again, it was fairly fresh and it wasn't a huge concentration. So, and it does depend on if it's latex paint or, water-based paint or what kind of paint. But so I had luck with that, with the the Tree Sap remover. Just putting it on a towel and rubbing it, making sure, of course, always doing a test spot to make sure that you're not going to damage that plastic, because it's also going to depend on the condition of the plastic. If it's super old and already brittle, you're very likely going to cause an issue. If it's a newer vehicle and that plastic hasn't, been worn out and dried out, you might be okay. And then obviously pressure washer is your friend. And then obviously the glass is really easy. But so here was the key though, is that this F-350 that I had that had, the truck was 3 houses down from a house that was being painted, and it must have been on a real windy day. So it kind of got that, overspray dust all over the whole truck, but the truck was coated in legend. So when I, a ceramic coating strip wash on it, it all came off. So it was not coming off in his normal wash routine, but because it was here, we used the, I think I used the IRS soap to kind of clear everything out. And then I used the clay towel, the Reset clay towel, and it all came off. So the key in that one was it had a ceramic coating. So the paint is easier to remove from ceramic than it is paint. So
I remember taking one of those yellow clay discs on my Flex 3401 to a guy's truck before, and I knew it was going to mar it up. And I told him, "Don't be scared. I'm going to scratch your paint up. I'm going to have to buff it out after." But like I said, I was able to save all of the paint, all the windows, and the rubber, and any of the chrome. Right, I was able to get it off the chrome. But some of that textured plastic, I think they used a really good paint. It just, even if you sat there with your fingernail and you really just dug at it, you could get it off, but you were scratching the plastic up. So it was, there was nothing I could do. I exhausted all options. But, I got paid by the insurance on it, and because he had to do a claim. But also, that may be the route you guys think about too, is you're a professional detailer. That's something you can source. I sourced a body shop. They fixed it, and I took a cut. So I made even more money to just drop it off, let them replace all the plastics, pick it up, do a final detail on it, just a wash, and deliver it. And sometimes you can't save something that's not worth it.
Yeah.
But do not use acetone. That is not.
Nope.
Well, that was a really good question, though, Stephen.
And then just real quick, Abraham had asked, let me just answer his other question real quick. What are you using for Tree Sap remover, since we were just on that? So I've actually never used Solution X, and mainly because this is why, because if I fall in love with something and then I tell people to get it, they can't get it. So Solution X is one of those that we can't ship. So you should be able to get it from distributors, but it's not on our website anymore. So if PNS has a product that is available, but it's not on our product, it just means we can't ship it by air. So, but the distributors who order, theirs usually go by truck. And so distributors can order it. But those kind of things you will have to get, at our local distributors. So what I use for Tree Sap. So this is one that I feel is another little hidden gem within PNS, is there's actually a product called Tree Sap Removal or Remover. And it is really, really good. And I use it to get off all kinds of junk on the car. And it works so great. It has never, and all the time I've been using it, I've never damaged anything with it. It seems to be very gentle on the paint, but it always gets that stuff off for me. It's awesome on Tree Sap. So I use a lot of it. And, I've even used it for some kind of like mild adhesive and stuff. And it you know, it just takes the gunk off. And like, you know, what we call bee poop. Sometimes if a car is totally covered in bee poop, I'll use the Tree Sap remover on that. But so we have that on our site. A lot of our
It's on our website.
Yeah, and the Tree Sap remover is awesome. Really, really awesome. I really love it.
Looks like that.
Yeah, it's great. Great.
Perfect.
So, okay, let's go back to another question. I just wanted to answer that because it kind of went off of the Tree Sap remover. Okay, so jewel polish, what is its designed purpose? So obviously the jeweling, so when you're doing paint correction, and this probably goes back to kind of the whole 3-step process, right? So not a ton of people still use this, but if you're working on like classic cars, or you have that customer that literally wants it perfect, jeweling is kind of that 3rd or sometimes even the 4th step of a paint correction. And it's just a really light, what they call a jeweling polish, which was, you know, a process that they used to call it, which was just that final, you know, just a major pop. It gets rid of any marring that really we can't even see to our eye from the pads or things like that. So it was originally designed as a jeweling polish. What we use it for more typically in our current times is it is an amazing ceramic corrector. So it's kind of our ceramic reset polish. So if you have high spots or you just need to buzz over a car that has a ceramic on it, but you don't want to remove the ceramic, the jeweling polish will do a lot of work. So it's a really great product to have in your arsenal. Mainly what I use it for is those high spots. So if, you know, something happens and I do have a high spot, which most of mine are on a window, you just put a little bit on a towel and it rubs that high spot right out. So I love it when I'm doing coatings, you know, for if I do have a high spot or something. The other day I had a coating and literally my husband leaned on the guy's truck and left the imprint of his arm on the truck because the coating was literally brand new. And so I just walked right up to it with some jeweling polish and smoothed it out, and it was fine. And I didn't have to go back over that area. So it's a really great product to have in your arsenal. You may not use a lot of it. It is, I believe it's only a 16-ounce bottle, right? But it'll last you quite some time.
Yeah, it's only a 16-ounce bottle. It's all you need. I mean, it's not a cheap bottle by far, but it will last you a long time because it doesn't require, and you just shake it up, and it's a really good abrasive. Got to tell Richard Ambrose, I love you too. I'm happy my fan club showed up today. Sydney has William.
Fan club, that's awesome.
And I was going to say, so the Express Sidekick is already on our website. If you type in the search bar Express, it'll come up. So that's how you can find it. It's actually been live there for days. You have to type. Yeah, Ian told me that last week. He said, yeah, just type awesome. Express and you'll find it.
Very cool.
So
very cool.
It's ready. It's available.
Awesome. Hopefully a lot of our distributors got them in stock. I know I did hear about several that ordered it, so that's cool. Okay, so next question we've got Edward with, does Lucid get applied and wiped down the same as coating on the paint?
Yes, Lucid does get applied the same. So you'd use our paint prep to prepare the headlight after you've done all the restoration work. And then you would apply it, watch it flash, and then level it with another microfiber towel. You could let it cure for 45 minutes or so and put another coat on if you'd like. If not, then you're good to go. I just put some on some headlights I restored last week. I did a Toyota 4Runner or Highlander, and looked really good. And the funny thing is, I restored those headlights almost 5 years ago, and they finally needed to be restored. So
cool. Yeah. The only thing different I do on headlights is I give it just a little bit extra time to cross-link, because it's not paint, it's polycarbonate usually. And so the nice thing is you do have a little bit bigger window of when to wipe it off. So I kind of, push that window. I want to make sure that I'm leaving behind as much product as possible. So, I probably leave it a minute, I would say,
45 seconds to a minute or so. And then, yeah, it's going to wipe off super easy. It's, yeah, same process. Yep. Cool.
Let me see. I'm looking for more. Hold on.
I know there was some way back in the beginning, but we went on a tangent for a while. About
Yeah,
this,
we
like,
were talking about our.
I know which one I missed. Right here.
Perfect. Okay, so any update on being out of Iron Buster? Kyle, do you have an update on that?
Yeah, so we're making some changes to our filling of Iron Buster and trying to source more of the raw material that's been holding us up. So hopefully within the next month or so, we should have Iron Buster coming out a little bit faster. It's a very desirable product. We probably have not met the demand of what we probably could sell of Iron Buster because it's been so hard to blend and fill, and there's many challenges we've had. So we've figured out some ways to streamline it, and hopefully that helps get it out to our distributors faster.
Yep. Iron Buster has ever since it came out, it's kind of been one of those products that it sells out as soon as we get a new batch in, and it's just we've always kind of been behind the game on that. So
believe me, Abraham, I feel your pain. I have distributors that are waiting on it. It comes in, and because their order wasn't in the queue because it was sitting, it goes out to someone else, and then I get the Kyle, I get the fingers, so people are mad at me. But if we had more sitting on our shelves, we'd be happier there. Just some challenges, just like everything. We're happy. I'll just tell you the Express Sidekick. We ordered this thing back in January. It was approved,
right?
And so it took a while to get
7 months,
and so it's the world we live in at the moment. Stop buying pints and gallons, start buying fives. Be a professional detailer and have a volume of product to hold you over. And as soon as you get to the point where you only have about a gallon or two left, order the next one. I mean, that's what I do. I have Iron Buster because I buy it in bulk.
Yeah, buy a 5 of it for sure. Okay, so then we've got Sarah. For Express Interior, do you have a ratio or can you use it straight? So you can use it straight. I like to dilute it 1-to-1, mainly because I don't like, I know it's not hurting anything, but I don't like when it leaves a lot of soap in the switches and things like that. So I use it 1-to-1. I feel like it still cleans the same level as straight. Then you also get double the product. But I just noticed that, I leave behind a lot less soap suds even when I'm steaming. Especially given the Sidekick, you're going to notice that it really helps it foam up a lot. So sometimes I'll use Express. If I'm doing like a quick wipe down, I'll use, and I, happen to have a small pint of Express that's full, I will just use that with a towel and do a quick wipe. But if I'm going to be agitating the Express, then I don't like it to be the really thick foam, and it will turn into really thick foam. So I prefer it at 1-to-1. You could dilute it more than that, but then just know that you are going to be, decreasing its cleaning ability just a little bit. But 1-to-1 seems to be kind of the sweet spot for that. Is that what you do?
Sorry, I was reading a text message question that just came into Ian for you and I. About Express Interior Cleaner. So not only do we answer questions here, we help with Ian answering questions through our emails that come into the corporate office. I generally use it 1-to-1. I have employees that don't really understand how to mix stuff, and because I don't have Express in my Chemtrol, it's on board full strength. It's easy for me to go 1-to-1. I can tell you when I did that boat the other day, I used it full strength. I wanted a little bit more cleaning ability, a little bit more suds. It was already kind of hot out, so I wanted more on the surface. And so, yeah, 1-to-1 or full strength is kind of my go-to. I've never diluted it further than that.
Yeah, for sure.
I wouldn't want that.
Yeah. Cool. I love this. Man, we could go on for this for an hour. We'll try to keep it short. Can you go over the differences in the fused ceramic coatings that you carry, application, durability, behavior? Sorry if this was already asked. I'm tuning in from California. You're good, Ryan. It has not been asked today. So real quick rundown. This one's easy. View is our glass coating. So this is the only glass coating we have. It is super simple to apply and remove. So you're going to polish the glass with Clarity Cream first, always. That is what is going to give that bond between the coating and the glass surface. So then it's literally, you apply it and remove it just like a standard coating. So, and it's kind of a 10 to 30 second wipe off. Super easy to see. It's going to rainbow and you wipe it off. Then the next three are going to be paint coatings. So we've got Inspiration Classic, which was our original coating. And that one is going to be, you apply it and immediate wipe off. So you're working in, small areas, apply it, wipe it off. It does flash, but what I notice, I use this coating a lot and I really love it, but it's kind of the same time for every vehicle. So I just put it on, wipe it off. You don't have to be crazy fast about it, but you're not going to wait like a minute. So that one's super easy to apply, super easy to remove, 2 towel removal. And that one it's a really, really great coating. I still absolutely love Inspiration. Then we bump up to Legend, which is our premium coat. So that one's going to be just a little bit thicker. It's going to last a little bit longer. It's going to have a little bit more gloss. It's just an absolutely phenomenal coating. This one is where the application is different. So you're going to apply it normal, using the box method and all of that. 2 towel removal, but this one you need to do a test spot. So you want to do a test spot where you're going to, wait like 30 seconds, put your first leveling towel down. And if you move it and it glides, you are ready to remove it. If you have any, tension or feedback, if it feels sticky at all, you're not ready. So I just kind of put my hand there and I wait until that towel moves freely. And so this first test spot, you want to be paying attention to the time. Be anywhere from 30 seconds to a minute. I've even had some brand new Subarus that were over a minute. And so you want to get that timing right. And once you have that sweet spot on the time, Legend's going to be a dream. It literally just glides right off. So if your towel's not gliding, it's not ready. And that one sweats. It doesn't rainbow. So it sweats. But what we found after so many uses was it doesn't necessarily sweat on every single car. So that's why we do the test spot and figure out what the sweet spot is. And then the third paint coating is Soul, which is our 1-year topper 1-year standalone or a topper to Inspiration and Legend. Awesome coating, could not be easier to apply. It massively rainbows in about 30 seconds to a minute. This one, you have a lot of window on wipe off. So the longer you leave it, the less, you want to let it, let the paint use all that it wants is what I always say. Because you want to wipe off as least as possible. What's nice about this is you have a big window of time to wipe it off. So I do 2 full panels and then wipe it off. And then what am I missing? Lucid is our new headlight coating. So, and we just talked about that. It's wipe on, wipe off. So yeah.
Sorry, I was kind of getting a little laugh out of Abraham's comments.
Oh,
He's got the money for a 5-gallon. Yeah, it's a lot of money. But you actually save money in the long run, right?
Yeah.
You're paying for 4 gallons and you're getting one. But he wants just a pint. So that's funny.
That's funny. That's funny.
That's how it is. I get it. It's not cheap. You're like money sitting there, but at least you have inventory.
Yeah. So this is a great question. Suggested dwell time for Terminator prior to Carpet Bomber. And do you scrub it in?
So what I love using Terminator. So I always air purge vehicles before. So me and my guys will go take the mats out, take all the trash out of a customer's car. I'll blow it out either with a master blaster or I have one of those leaf blowers. I love it because it loosens up all the dirt, the dust, the hair, and kind of blows that stuff out the car. After that, I come in and I will just laser spray all the stains with Terminator. And then I shut the door and I wash the car. The reason I do it that way is all the dust is out now. So that if I washed the car and then I blew the interior, then I'm going to be getting dust all over the outside of the car. So we wash it, do everything we need to do, rims, tires, clay, bead maker, or just dry, whatever the plan is. Then we come in and I agitate the stains with like a drill brush or a hand brush, and we spray the carpets with carpet bomber. We agitate that, and we either do our diaper wrap steam or our extraction. But I would say I let it dwell for 20 to 30 minutes is what it takes for us to do the wash. It won't hurt it if you let it sit there for an hour because it's just going to dry. But it allows the enzymes to break down the oils and the stains and whatever has caused that stain. I feel it gives me great results. It also works if you just sprayed it right away and then agitated it, but I kind of like the dwell time. I feel like it makes it sufficient. And so, yeah, it can sit there as long as you want. You're reactivating it once you either agitate or use carpet bomber. But that's kind of my process. Majority of the time is I'll just attack the stain and let it dwell.
Yep. And I kind of do the same, but I do stack them. So I usually do Terminator and then go right back over with carpet bomber. Usually I give Terminator like a minute or two, but then I stack them, which is fine to do. And then I do always scrub it in. So yeah.
The most important thing that people overlook is not everyone is neutralizing at the end. I'm sure, Steven, you probably see that people are buying carpet bomber and Terminator, but you probably don't sell as much finisher. And I don't think people realize how important finisher really is. And that's one of the, the best things that I learned from Rennie is neutralizing and stopping stains from wicking, and making sure that, it just freshens everything up. You don't have any carpet bomber smell after. So if you're using Terminator and carpet bomber, even if you're using a very light, fine mist, you should be using finisher.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. The carpet trio is the bomb.
Yeah.
Love it. Cool. Next one we have Pristine says, great advice always from both of you. Thanks for taking the time to do this. Of course, we love it.
Thank you very much.
We love to chat with everybody and help them out.
Where's Pristine out of? I would just like to know.
I used to know this.
Is it Utah?
I don't think so.
There's
Christine,
so many.
Tell us where you're from.
Extreme detellings. There's so many of them now that Pristines and Prestiges, and they all have a P logo. I like to put an area to, in case we're visiting somewhere, we can reach out.
So Romero says, Kyle, do you have your own channel to give tips on boat detail or offer boat detailing training?
I do have a YouTube, but I don't have boat stuff on there. It's funny. I probably should, but every time I go to do a boat, being a business owner with employees, I just jam on it. I don't have the time to set up a tripod and do multiple takes. And edit those things. I just all right, guys, let's go. So what I probably should do is just slap a GoPro on my chest and just film it. What we're doing, and maybe just have one on this, on a tripod, and then come back and do a voiceover. That'd probably be the best for me if I'm going to do those kind of trip. I just don't. Sometimes I forget to take a before picture just because I just go. We jump out of the van and. I know this sounds funny. I think of my van as a can, right? It's a big metal can. And when my guys jump out of the van, we open a can of whoop ass and just clean. And that's how I see it happening. All right, you get the vacuum, you get this, and we just go.
Yeah.
Um,
And we have at PNS though, it's kind of
yes,
on
we did.
it's on our list to try to send Kyle to Hayward to the detail studio and have him do a boat detail training. It's been on the list for a couple years. I know we talk about it, but it's just one of those scheduling things. It's just, scheduling.
Well, when I was up visiting Sydney at her car show last month, I guess in June, I guess we're 2 months ago.
Mm-hmm.
I spent some time with the Rad Company and did some video on Kyle's boat and RV restore.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So
and that should be
that
ready
will
soon,
be coming out hopefully soon.
Mhm.
And we even did a short video for TikTok
Mhm.
with a short explanation.
Mhm.
So it's in the works. It's just making those things happen is always logistical problem. But thank you. I'll keep that in mind, buddy.
Yeah. Okay, so Abraham says, doesn't the steam neutralize both products? Not necessarily.
Well, I think
so it dissolves them, but it doesn't fully neutralize them.
Yeah, it's still in the carpet.
Mhm.
Even I think the only thing that's going to suck it through is if you were to use extraction and fully soak it up. The problem with the extraction is wicking, right? And so if you have a stain that keeps coming back because you're extracting and you're sucking it out of the cushion and not just the top layer of the the carpet or the seat.
Yep.
That's what finisher's for, is to lock the stain from coming back up, so that you're not continually sucking more and more. So you are diluting the products as you steam and extract, but you're not neutralizing them.
Yep. All right. What do we have next? We just had a couple pop in. So Handy Danny says, just curious about Breakbuster and why I have so many issues with it. Normally I'll use Hot Shot for both wheels and tires, but now I'm going to try Undressed. So my first question is, what are your issues with it? Because maybe we can help you there. But Breakbuster, I have seen, generally speaking, when, we get a lot of questions. And when I see the questions come in, trying to use it on like BMW wheels that are absolutely thrashed, they're wheels that are already kind of compromised. And so Breakbuster, it is a really fantastic product. I mean, we all use it every single day. It's absolutely one of my favorite products, but you have to use it for what it's intended for, which is, maintenance, cleaning, and wheels that are in good shape. If you have wheels that are in super bad shape, you can't expect Breakbuster to solve those issues. It's an acid, so it's not going to do anything that a normal acid wheel cleaner would do. And so is not getting the grime off. So kind of my rule of thumb is, if it's the first time it's come to me, I'm usually using Iron Buster or Crystal Wash first on the wheels to completely decontaminate the wheels. And then from that point forward, even though the customer is going to get the wheel dirty, I've always been able to maintain them with Breakbuster. But when it's the first wheel and it's pretty neglected, you've got to come out with the heavy hitters first. I myself don't use wheel acid, but I definitely use Iron Buster or Crystal Wash. So I will use those as like a kickstart, right, to get the contamination off the wheel. So for sure, I would go, he says these farm country vehicles, try Crystal Wash. Honestly,
yeah, I was going to suggest you need to go.
My favorite. Yeah, so Crystal Wash
is a mild acid.
Yeah.
And so you need to go acid on these because you're probably breaking down rust and iron, not just grease and grime. So like Sid was saying, it'll reset those wheels depending on if they're factory wheels, right? You should be totally fine on those factory wheels, but aftermarket wheels that are satin can always give you a problem no matter what you're using.
Yeah.
But yeah, Sydney's right there. I'd use Crystal Wash. If it's not getting it, you may have to order some of our, or you can't even order it because we can't ship it. You'd have to get it from a distributor, some of our mag wheel cleaner.
Yeah. And I do a lot of farm vehicles also. And so you've got things like pesticides in there that are sprayed in the air. You've got all kinds of stuff that they're dry through. And so definitely try some Crystal Wash for sure.
Yeah.
I think you'll like that. And so I just spray the crystal wash on. I let it sit for 2 minutes, and then I spray Brake Buster right over and just go to town. It's
So
awesome.
if these are 22-inch wheels, are they
Mhm.
bare aluminum or are they powder coated? Are they just aluminum, or because it's an F350 with 22s, it can be
So a
anything.
waxing
They're
or
obviously
ceramic.
aftermarket.
So if it's a brand new F350, I ceramic them, just the
Yeah.
faces. I don't do the barrels. I do the faces. And that just, I mean, really it makes it easier for me to clean later. And so, yeah, I'll do that. Or often I just use Bead Maker also. Bead Maker does a great job. It kind of, keeps them so that they have sealant on them, making it easier to wash them. So,
And handy, if you use crystal wash, you got to make sure they're not raw aluminum, because this is an acid. You will bleach them if they're raw aluminum. Yep.
Yep. Yeah.
So you're going to end up polishing them after.
Mhm.
That's what's going to happen. You're gonna whiten them, brighten them. So
The polished aluminum?
yeah, the polished aluminum. If they're not clear coated, crystal wash will lightly do that. I mean, it's not like a crazy acid, but it's still, polished aluminum always reacts to that. Looks like you're gonna have some fun. These you got to ceramic coat these after you get them all dialed in, and then they need to take better care of them, because those wheels ain't cheap. That's for sure.
Yeah, for sure. When it's the first time someone's brought a car to you, I mean, you're gonna have to put a little bit extra effort into the wheels. And then once you have that gone and you're protecting them, then you should be super great to just use Brake Buster, for sure.
I was going to tell Jamie the cleaner, I'm going to have to do a video of me and my guys jumping out of the van now and cracking a soda.
And cool Steve Austin entrance music. That's hilarious. That'll be great. That's a good TikTok.
Yeah, right.
Awesome. And then, I wanted to mention to Handy Danny real quick is just do get the undressed. Undressed is awesome. So again, first time the car comes in, I would do crystal wash with Brake Buster on the wheel, and then undressed on the tire. Just totally reset that whole system. Undressed is awesome. So it is going to be that kind of that first time total strip the tire, start over the correct way. Okay, so Paul says, I am new to the detailing world. With that being said, is the Express Interior Cleaner more like an APC, and what is a typical detail process on a vehicle?
So I'm going to say, yes, it is a cleaner, as a APC is, but it is meant for plastics and vinyl and leather, not to dry them out. Dave made this a very good versatile cleaner. You could use it on other places in the vehicle, but it is not like an all-purpose cleaner that has that's going to work more. I would like to call it hot, where it dries things out. So Express is meant for all of those surfaces. If you want an APC that you can use for like floor mats or wheels, tires, exterior trim, whatever you want to use an APC for, maybe an engine. That's why Sid and I always talk about EnviroClean and Express, because you can pretty much clean everything with those two products. So I would get both Express and EnviroClean if you're looking for everything.
Yeah, and then the typical detail process, that's literally about an hour answer. So Paul, the first thing that I can suggest you do is go to our YouTube channel. We have lots of, they're product videos, right? We're talking about our products, but it also tells the process of each of those. So that'll kind of help break it down by tires, interior. That might be a little bit more simple than us trying to go through the entire process. It literally would take an hour. So go to our YouTube channel. We have, tried to get up, we're still obviously in the works of it, but lots of process videos where, yes, we are talking about one of our PNS products, but it's also showing you the whole process. So go check that out. And then, hopefully you'll keep joining us, and we are happy to help you with all of your questions. But that last part is a very long answer. So go check out our YouTube channel, and also make sure you follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook, because we do always throw in little snippets and tips. And then our newsletter, you can sign up for our newsletter on our website. And in there. That newsletter comes out every other week, right before Bead Maker and Coffee, and Kyle and I switch on and off with a detailing tip. So you'll be able to pick up a lot of information from those, and then keep joining us, and we'll
I got distracted by a couple things here real quick. Did we hear where he's from, where Paul's from?
It was Lancaster, PA.
Oh, Paul is?
No, Pristine.
Pristine is from Lancaster, Pennsylvania.
Yeah, but
I did.
Sorry, I was talking about Paul here.
Oh, Paul. Did we see? I didn't see where he was from.
Gotcha. I was going to suggest some training.
Oh yeah. No. Yeah. Where you located at? Because
Chris
is right. If you want to dip your toe in the water, we have an extreme 1-day training happening in 5 locations across the country.
Those are
coming up pretty soon. And then there is also more advanced training that is offered by Rennie Doyle at Detailing Success. He's in Texarkana,
Arkansas. So is he close to any of the 1-day extremes? So the 1-day extreme, I really suggest you start there, since you're kind of totally new to the detailing world. It is a 1-day extreme, fire at everything you would do to detail a car, all the way from, the interior to ceramic coatings. The good thing about the 1-day is you kind of get a vision of all of it, and then you can kind of keep stepping up to, more intense training.
Yeah.
So if there is one close to you, I highly suggest checking that out.
I think was it Mike Smith? Is probably,
it's gonna be San Antonio, Texas is the closest.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, so definitely. Paul, look those up. That and Mike Smith is amazing. So all of our training centers are amazing, but yeah, for sure.
Mike is especially special.
Mike would be, that would be a fun introduction to the detailing world for you.
He's a good dude.
We love Mike.
I think you'll have a great time with Mike.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah, it's Paul, one of the things about, one, you're in Arkansas. I don't get too many inquiries from Arkansas. I'll be honest. I rarely see them. But unfortunately, as big as the detailing industry is, it's still pretty small. And finding good training is, for most people, something they're going to have to travel a little bit for.
Yeah. Yep.
So I don't know if I got any more questions here, guys. I'm
well, we're a good half hour over.
All of a sudden.
Yeah. No, we're good. So we should probably wrap it up. It's going to be 107 here today, and I have 2 cars to ceramic coat. So we should probably wrap this up for today. But guys, remember, in 2 weeks, Kyle and I will be together in Hayward, straight from the detail studio. The PNS.
I think we're going to be doing it live from Stephen Chin's store.
Or we're going to do it from the store.
Yeah,
that's fun.
Yeah, because all those great
Stephen will be good with that. Yeah, that would be fun.
A shop background.
You can walk around, show all the
grab products and cause havoc for Stephen. It'll be fun. No,
that's a good idea. That's a great idea. And I think last year we kind of took them on a little tour of the warehouse, which we can do that again if everybody wants. That I do remember. We do know this year we have Wi-Fi in that building, which is cool because last year we did.
So it's a whole new building that PNS has now. It's been built out, and our factory store is there, Stephen's store, PNS East Bay. So excited to bring you that. And Alex, yes, you have great ideas. I cannot speak for all Canadians, but you have great ideas. I appreciate it.
Alex is awesome. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. Send in any questions that we didn't get to answer, and we will see you guys in 2 weeks. Find yourself an Express Sidekick. We are so excited about it. I know you guys. And everybody have an awesome week and stay cool.
Bye-bye.